What if you could see into the future? If you could take all the worries you had right now, everything that you're uncertain about, and see the answers laid out in front of you. Usually time travel is not possible, but today it is, because today we are in the future.
To my future self, I'm so freaking proud of you.
Over 2 years ago, I sat down and filmed a journal-style video, and today I'm watching it with you to gain perspective on how to navigate doubt and uncertainty. I'm also going to share step-by-step how you can create this same experience for yourself. If you want that in front of you right now, you can download the free PDF that outlines how to do this activity. It's linked on my blog, which is in the description below. While you're scrolling down to the description, remember to hit subscribe and notifications if you want to receive free alignment trainings every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you're particularly excited for this video topic, hit the like button, and that lets me know to make more videos just like this. So before I bare my heart and share my diary entry with you, let me set the tone. When I filmed this video, I was in the first year of starting my business. In this video, you'll hear me mention I've already done this 2 times before. What I mean by that is 2 times already, I had seen a traditional, quote, safe path and chose otherwise. I wanted to step fully into yes and. I didn't want side gigs. I didn't want to have that belief that I needed something else in addition to what I was building and growing as financial security. So with the context in mind, let's hear her wise words. And I warned you, it would be a raw diary style video. So here she is.
I have been back and forth about a decision in front of me, specifically related to quitting the job that I'm currently doing. Just as I coach clients, I already know the answer. And just as I tell clients, I remember this part. I remember the feeling of being scared, of being uncertain, of feeling like I have to do something. In this case, I have to make money. I have to hold a more traditional job. I have to be safe. I have to be smart, whatever that means.
If you hear yourself saying these shoulds, in her case, or in my case, I was saying, I have to do this, I should do this. What's not happening in this video is that I have 0 funds and I'm gonna quit my only source of income. I had a financial safety net so that I could do something like leave a traditional job. So there's one thing that isn't often talked about when we pursue our dreams. To have some sort of financial plan is a really smart move. And for you, maybe that looks like a gift from a relative, or using a pot of money that you had saved for an occasion just like this. Maybe for you, that's keeping a part-time or full-time job as you build something else. Your situation, of course, is going to be unique from mine or anyone else's. So again, it wasn't that I didn't have any money and I could not afford to leave this job. It was that I could afford to leave that work and I was just scared to.
I remember this part, so I know eventually the lights will turn back on and everything will feel clear again and I'll feel confident again. And I'm currently, like in this moment, I'm in a really intense place of doubt, of true doubt, and that hurts me to say because I've heard so many clients tell me that they're in a place of doubt, that they don't trust or they don't know what's next, and it's scary what's next. And when I'm on the other side, when I am the coach, I see so clearly how powerful they are. I see so clearly the potential and the possibility, and how so often we trap ourselves. Yet I doubt and I fear the transition that I've already done twice. It's still scary, even though I've done it before. I'm so in that self-doubt and the fear, the uncertainty of it. Like, that's where I'm at right now, is how scary it is.
So what I also catch her, myself, saying a lot is when I walk clients through this, I have this clarity. Or I tell my clients all the time, I remember this part. And you likely feel this in some capacity, right? Like, I know better. Or like if my friend were to ask me for advice in this situation, I would have the answer. However, when we're in it, it's difficult to separate our feelings and our fears and our worries and our stories. That's why coaches have coaches and therapists have therapists and support systems have other support systems. No one is superhuman, because when we're in it, we're in it. like she's in it right now.
I know so deep in my gut that yes and the services I can provide through writing, through speaking, through coaching one-on-one, through workshops, that is what I'm meant to do, and I'm so passionate about it. And yet it's not illuminated. Right now it feels like the lights are off and I don't know what that looks like or how that's going to be prosperous. And even I'm like laughing because this is what I hear clients say all the time. It's always how, but what about this? But I feel like I'm supposed to do this, but what about finances? There's all these things that come up and they're valid things to consider, and that's not where I want to drive from. I don't want that to be my motivation. I want my motivation to be my passion and that deep purpose. That's how I want to move forward. That's how I want to encourage clients to move forward. And, and, man, it's scary. It is so scary.
I could tell I was staying in that current job due to fear and due to scarcity and due to worry, not because it felt right. There's a difference. So again, back to what I was saying about having some sort of financial plan, sometimes it does feel right to stay in work, even if it's not what you want to be doing forever. Sometimes it can feel good to say, no, this is actually getting me closer to my goal while I pursue this other thing, or while I take a break and give myself some space to breathe and think and brainstorm. That's not the place I was in. The place I was in is this work feels misaligned, and the only reason I'm staying is out of fear. And that is not where I wanted to drive from.
What might be useful if I share this video eventually, or even just filming this for myself, is to take a moment and remember, for me and for any client I have and will work with in the future, I get it. I so get it, because right now I'm in it. Right now I am there with you. I am so there with you. And I think my purpose is to show you that it is possible to not stay here, to not stay stuck. My purpose is to be a support for you so that even though it's scary, and because it is scary, I'm here. I'm here for you in that transition process. When you come to me and you say, but I'm scared, but what about all these things? And I can truly, I can cry with you, I can grieve with you, I can be excited with you, I can be fearful with you, all these things, because here I am. Because here it is. Ah, man, here it is.
Sometimes we can forget, myself included, that someone else who seems like they've made it, they too have experienced challenges. I really understand because I've been there. And not only been there, but purposefully went really deep with coaches and with my own support systems in those seasons because I knew that was what I was going to help others through. Of course, I can't exactly experience your experience, but as she says, I get it. I get that it's scary.
There's so much more. There's so much more. I can't stay in that square. I can't stay in that square. Oh!
I can't stay in that square, which has a whole story behind it. Comment below if you want to see more of this video. I'm saying there's so much more, and it makes me sad to think of anyone's life, so my life included in that, to confine ourselves to something that doesn't feel right. And again, that's what I was feeling in this moment. This thing doesn't feel right. I feel confined. I feel like there's more, and I'm scared, and I feel confined. And so I have to make a switch. I have to change. If you're in a place of doubt or fear, come back to the why. And that might mean leaning into the current feeling you're feeling that probably is wildly uncomfortable, either confining, or you feel limited, or you feel like there's something more, there's something you really, really want. Tune into that desire, tune into that discomfort and say, this is why it's worth it. This is why it's worth it to feel the fear and to step into it anyway.
I would love to end this video with a note to my future self.
That's us today.
To my future self. I'm so freaking proud of you. Because right now, I'm super scared. I'm really uncertain about what this is going to look like. Right now, the voices that feel the loudest are the ones that say, This isn't wise. Stay in that square. Stay safe. And even though those voices feel loudest, the fire that I am going to follow is the one that says no to those things. Or the one that says yes. And this is Marin. This is Marin Lauka. She's not living in a square for her life. She never has.
Even in diary entries, I stay on brand. Yes, and
to my future self, I feel how powerful you are and how much impact you're making. You are important in the future for everyone that you're impacting. And right now, you're so important for me. Because I need you. I need you right now. Because I'm really scared. I'm really scared. And yet I'm persevering because I know the ride is going to be so beautiful. It already has been. And I think what makes it really beautiful is the fact that there's moments like this. There's moments of like deep stuff. This is it. This is the full life. And I freaking love it. I really, really do. And I'm so grateful for it. And it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. So scary. It's so scary.
As I talk in this video directly to my future self, I talk about how important she is. And there's something so valid in that. At the very least, it provides perspective. So we think of the 10,000-foot view, or the question, 5 years from now, will this matter? 5 years from now, what will you think of this decision at hand? It's not to dismiss the current feelings. It's not to say I shouldn't have felt doubtful or fearful in that moment. It's to say you can feel what you're feeling in this moment and have additional perspective, so that you know and you can trust you're not going to stay in that feeling forever. In the feeling, when you're in the depth of feeling, it can feel overcoming, it can feel overwhelming, but it's not. It will not overwhelm you. There will be another side. If you have that sense of what you want to be, of what is coming, of what you are creating, of what you're walking toward, that can motivate you to stay on your alignment path. What's studied in positive psychology, what is in the literature, is to be able to experience all of emotions. So to be able to experience the heartache and the hurt and the grief and the fear just as much as we can experience the joy and the elation and the celebration and the love.
What do I think my future self would tell me? How do I think you, future self, are looking back at this video?
For fun, let's actually say that first. I'm so proud of her. I feel for her. I remember what it was like to be in that spot where it was so scary. And now I have the perspective to know it all works out. And even if it didn't work out the way that it did work out, let's say, for instance, I blew through that safety blanket, that financial security that I did have, I would just pick up another job. I would find a way. It would work. It would be okay. And so I can see that perspective now. But in the moment, I get it. Like, I get where she was. I can go back to that time of just feeling so scared about how it's going to happen, and all the what ifs, and just fear is really like all I could feel at that time. And so I feel empathy for her while also smiling because she just didn't have the perspective. Also, when I watch this video, I see pressure that I don't speak about outwardly in this video, but I see that pressure to make the right choice. I think unknowingly I had put this pressure on myself to almost be like the perfect alignment. And if I knew something was off, I had to fix it and align immediately. And I've come to learn that that's not always the journey. In the book that will be released later this year, there is a whole dedicated stage to pausing, the space between knowing and doing that can exist. And in fact, in my experience, is very beneficial to exist, to sit in that pause. So I also see in her, and what I would say to her is like, it's okay to chill for a second. It's okay to feel scared or not even feel it, like potentially even push it aside for a second, and you don't have to be perfect. And you can know that that job isn't for you, and you can know what you want, and you can pause. And that's okay to pause, to take a breath and take the action when you feel ready to.
I think you're smiling. I think you're so proud of me going to this place right now. I think you're crying with me a little bit because you remember how scary it was. And you're so grateful. You're so grateful that even though I'm here, even though it's scary, I still pursued it because that brought us to where we are now. And if this ends up on my YouTube channel, if this ends up in the public, what I want to tell you, whoever's watching this, what I want to tell you, my future client, or my current client, or my past clients, or anyone who's been in any one of my workshops or read my book that has not yet been written yet.
The book is now written and it's going to be published soon. That's really cool to see.
I hope this allows you to feel safe and to feel trusting and confident. Most likely, when I'm on the phone with you or in my posts, I'm focusing on how much possibility there is, on encouraging you to live your fullest, your best life. That motivation, that energy, oftentimes that's the support that allows you to step out of your discomfort that I'm currently in, out of our discomfort. And hopefully, this can just remind you that this is part of it. This is part of it for me too. So it's okay if it's part of it for you. It's okay if that's where you're at. And we all make it to the other side. Sometimes it takes support. Hopefully that's what I'm providing for you.
Your dreams will happen. The things that you long for will come. If you're asking, but how do you know that, Marin? Because I've been through it myself. I've experienced that ride, like she said, many times over, and it gets easier. It gets easier because we learn the pattern, or maybe you read my book and you learn that pattern of what happens in this alignment journey, and therefore it becomes a little less jolting, a little more comfortable and actually certain within the journey itself. I also know it because I see it in all of my clients. I see the same cycle in all of my clients, and everyone makes it through. Answers will come, opportunities will come. Lean on support, please, when you need it, because that doesn't mean that the current challenge isn't hard. The current challenge probably feels very hard. You may also be crying in front of a camera, and you'll make it through. And I know that. I've experienced it. I see it every day.
I'll sign off the phrase that I say, and it's so scary for me to live into right now, and I know I will. Align and fully experience your authentic life. Life is so good. You got this. You got this.
With regard to this video, I hope it normalizes this part of the journey, the part that is doubtful, the part that feels really scary. You can be in that place and still be in a place of trust and in a place of pursuing your dreams. It's okay to feel doubt and fear. It's normal to feel doubt and fear. And one day, your future self will look back on that moment and be so proud of her or him, be so grateful, and have a different perspective. After experiencing this real life time travel, I highly recommend you do something similar. I have a PDF that outlines the exact 5-step process I used to get to that really vulnerable space. And let me know in the comments if you end up doing it. You can download this step-by-step practice on my blog using the link below. If you enjoyed this video, if you found benefit in seeing this perspective of the journey, please comment and let me know. Also, as you saw, there's more to this video. So if you're interested to hear more of her story, then comment below as well, and maybe I'll share more of this diary entry video. If you are in a season of doubt, in a season of fear, next week I have an activity that might be particularly helpful for you, where I introduce a style of decision making based in the positive psychology practice of motivational interviewing. Turn on the notifications and subscribe below so that you don't miss it next week. That is all for today. My name is Marin Lauka. I'm the owner of Yes And I empower you to break free from those limiting beliefs, from that fear and that uncertainty, so that you can own your potential, align with your true self, and experience true fulfillment. Until next Tuesday, have a wonderful week. You are doing amazing. You've got this.